B. Howe, take it away, sir. Wh- oh, let me guess what the first game is. I already know what the first game is.
Got to go with the first game. It's the first game of the week. Well, second game of the week. There's a game Wednesday night, but we go Thursday night. We got Thursday night action. Of
That's
course, it's going to
right.
make the
There's
list.
there's a Wednesday game this week. Oh
There
my, we're
is.
not talking about that. Lafayette and Marshall did not make the cut. What's the
Did not.
first game Thursday?
Baylor at West Virginia. Baylor
Oh,
favored by 3.5,
uh-huh.
54.5 total. All right, you're going to have to
Okay.
help me through this because as if you listen to this show
Okay, here we
regularly, you
go.
know I talk about the Mountaineers every day,
Every
every day.
every day. Yep.
I'm confused on this one. I'll just tell you right up front. I'm confused. Here's some things to consider. If you look at, I'm going to give you an advanced stat right out of the gate. So are you ready? Are you awake in Vegas? You ready?
It's
Advanced
early,
stats.
but yeah, I'm ready for you.
All right. I'll
I'm
give you
here.
broad definitions, not specific down in the weeds.
Okay, good. That's how we start.
Expected points added. Okay.
What is
And
that?
basically here's the easy definition. It's just basically the success of the play or success of a unit, however you're applying it. Okay. So just overall success. It's a way to measure if the play was successful, if the unit is successful, if the team on that side of the ball is successful, just a
Okay.
measure of success.
All
Okay.
right. Yes.
If you go by expected points added here, these teams are really close.
Really?
West Virginia has a small edge offensively, Baylor
Okay.
with an edge defensively, but they're
Right.
close. Okay.
All
You've got
right.
to take reputation out of this for a second. Baylor came in as the preseason Big 12 favorite, but they haven't looked like the Big 12 preseason favorite to this point. So
No.
you got get your perceptions out of this for a second.
All
Okay.
right.
WVU is 5-0 against Baylor in Morgantown since joining the Big 12. Baylor's brought
Okay.
some good teams in here, hasn't been able to win in Morgantown. Okay.
All right.
West Virginia's defense, though, in the back end in particular, is just awful. It's just dreadful, Dave. They can't
Yeah.
stop
Can't.
anybody on the back
Yeah.
end.
Yeah. It's
But
not good.
can Baylor take advantage of that? Baylor's leading receivers their tight end. They don't
They
throw to
don't
their
really.
receivers deep very often.
Yeah, they don't really light anybody up.
They do
Uh,
not. They want to play defense, run the ball, throw it when they need to control it, but they're going to try and win with their defense.
yeah.
Here's my biggest struggle if I'm looking at the West Virginia side.
Okay.
Last game out against Texas, West Virginia's problem was the interior of its offensive line got big boyed by the big dudes. I mean, physically big dudes from Texas, right smack in the middle of their line. They pushed straight back on the offensive line, right into JT Daniels' face
Yes.
with some tight coverage through the whole offense off.
Yes.
Well, you know where Baylor's strength is in their defensive line?
Up the middle.
Smack right in the middle. So that's one thing I'm worried about. Here's the other thing. Neil Brown,
Very
West
true.
Virginia's head coach, talked about this week. This is important, I think, moving forward as you're trying to handicap Baylor. It was a really good way to explain why they're good, and I'll try and make it quick here.
All right.
Baylor stops your run with 6 guys in the box rather than 7.
Our show's
So they
called Eight
put
in the Box. So they're not putting eight in the box. They're not. They're
they
not
not they
putting
not only don't put 8, they don't put 7. They
six.
put 6. So when you're in 11 personnel, one running back, one tight end, you've got 6 offensive linemen.
Right.
They're going to put 6 in the box and say to you, our 6 are going to handle your 6. So
And
what
this
that
has been
does,
successful.
it's been super successful because that puts now 5 guys back in coverage so they don't have to leave anybody alone and they can cover and stop the run. They have held
Oh.
teams, the last 17 opponents, they've held under 100 yards rushing. 10 of those of the last 17.
What's
It's
the
almost
best part of
60%.
West Virginia's offense?
So West Virginia wants to run it. They throw it more than they run it, but West Virginia's without its best running back, who suffered a concussion against Texas. He's still out.
This all
I'm.
sounds very
It
bad
sounds
for
like
the
Baylor, right?
Mountaineers.
It
This
feels like
sounds like Baylor. This smells like Baylor. The line is 3.5, telling you to kind of putting it out there, going, you should probably take West Virginia because it's over 3, just over 3. Take the hook. That's what it's telling me. Is and I don't want anything to do with West Virginia. After listening to this expected value added thing that you did at the beginning, it's about the defense, Bial. If West Virginia can't score enough points, this 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 is easy to me. This is Baylor. Everything you're saying screams Baylor. But then they play the games and West Virginia gets upset and beats Baylor.
It wouldn't surprise me. This Morgantown here where I'm based, this is a tough place to play at night, especially on a Thursday night. You're in a bounce back spot for West Virginia.
Is it going to be one of those games? I mean, it's a primetime game in West Virginia. Is it on a Thursday? Is this a hype atmosphere? Like, is this going to be, I mean, West Virginia's 2-3, 3-2 against the spread. Is this a big game at home there? Like, are you gonna? Is it gonna be sellout?
Yeah,
and
here's
all
something to
this
think.
stuff?
Here's something to think about though. Thursday night games in Morgantown can get on its ear. I mean, it can get
Okay.
nuts in here. But West Virginia, you mentioned it. They're just 2-3, so that's waned the interest a little bit. Here's the other thing to keep in mind. Here's a little inside nugget for you. West Virginia's stadium shares a parking lot with the biggest and most major hospital in the state of West Virginia.
I saw
The
that. Oh,
parking lot is
shit.
in between. So
Right.
because it's a high traffic, important hospital, you can't open those tailgating lots until 5 p.m. on Thursday. So the
Oh.
tailgating isn't what it normally is on a Saturday. You may have a little bit of a less rowdy atmosphere in there Thursday evening.
Oh.
So there's a
A
little
more
nugget for you.
sophisticated crowd down there for that.
There you go.
But
It'll get
yes.
loud. Now, if West Virginia has success, it'll get nuts. But this to me, but West Virginia had no shot against Baylor last year. Now, Baylor lost a ton of guys, but they were physically manhandled. This is it. I'm not ready for the music here, newbie. I'm not a show me yet. But if I'm
Okay.
this is Baylor until West Virginia shows me it can win. I think.
Okay.
I think that's where I am.
Can it fall 3? Can this end up being a close game where Baylor wins but doesn't cover?
I mean, it could. It feels like it's dog wins outright or Baylor covers the 3.5 is the way
Yeah.
it feels to me.
Under sounds like an under game.
I think under West Virginia's bad defense scares me on any under plays, but yeah, probably under because I think I just think Baylor's defense is going to cause a lot of problems here. That's my
54 and a
concern.
half's the total, pretty much consensus. This sounds like Baylor, but it sounds like under. To me.
Agree. Okay. There we go. All right.
Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, click on another video right here on the screen. And if you really liked it, consider subscribing below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.